Thank you so very much for joining us and being back. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television to our main conversation for today. The United States Coast Guard and Navy have seized a Nigerian-owned supertanker skipper over allegation of crude theft, piracy, and other transnational crimes. The 20-year-old very large crude carrier, reportedly owned by Tomaro's Global Ventures Limited in Nigeria, but registered to Triton Navigation Corps in the Marshall Island, was also found flying Guyana's flag illegally. Guyana's Maritime Administration swiftly denied the vessel's registration, stating that skipper had no authorization to use its flag. U.S. authorities said the operation was executed under American law enforcement powers and announced by President Donald J. Trump. Investigators are also probing claims that the tanker was carrying a large consignment of hard drugs and operating within a network linked to suspected Iranian and Islamist-backed money launderers. We still have Emeka Amandunagu. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's talk this matter. It's quite complicated to some extent. Lots of digging in it to be done. But what have you found so far concerning this story?
Yeah, what I know so far is that the tanker was arrested, I think, on the 10th of December. And it was carrying a Guyanese flag. So when it was arrested, the U.S. Coast Guard claimed that it found stolen oil, possibly coming from Nigeria, and then drugs, and then it traced the tanker. He said the company, the owner of the tanker is one Victor Atemov. The owner of the company, that owns the tanker, is said to be Victor Atemov, a Russian sanctioned oil magnate. That means he's under sanctions. He's one of those, under sanctions. Victor Atemov, Now, they are alleging that he used Triton Navigation Company, subsidiary of Central Maritime Private Limited, to obscure ownership in an oil smuggling network supporting Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the Quds Force and Hezbollah. So now, the company is said to have one small office somewhere around Warri. And then, on CSC's website, the company is said to be inactive.
But how can a company have a physical office and the required agency meant to register companies, it's denying the fact that it doesn't have its register with it?
No, you don't. The way Nigerian law operates is that even when a company has been declared inactive on CSC website, it's until CSC strikes it out, strikes it off its register. That is, if the company has not been doing its returns, has not been making returns to CSC. But some companies have been trying to make returns, but CSC's website went down some time ago. I too had some business to do on CSC's website, but it went down. It's been down. Lawyers have been complaining because CSC has migrated its processes from manual to digital. So we were hoping that it would be easy to go on CSC web, because he said it was going to use AI a lot in his operation. So we thought it was going to be easy, but I mean, I registered a company, for instance, a business name, but by the time I started hearing that the website had gone down, and I went to check, I did see the company again. For me to move further and make a payment, for registration, I couldn't see it. So, and the website has been down. So now, when you say inactive, it could be deliberate. It could also be that, because it has not filed its returns, and then also, CAC has not struck it off its register, even though it's inactive. CAC will still give you a window to, file your returns. So they will still be doing their businesses, they will still maintain their bank accounts and all of that. But
so, which means the company, the Triton,
the company
is registered in Nigeria.
So maybe operating.
Yes, operating in Nigeria, which means it has registered itself, because such a behemoth company cannot be operating without registration.
No, let me tell you something. You see, the way business works globally is such that you can hide a lot of things within a lot of things.
That is in countries that do not care.
All over the world. Even within the United States, even in the United Kingdom, you can obscure a lot of things. There are rogue countries where you can get, registration. Even within the old Soviet bloc, you can actually hide a lot of things. For instance, look at this supertanker was flying a Guyanese flag. But the government of Guyana said that it is not on its national ship registry, and that the vessel was using the flag without authorization. Now, Venezuela, denounced the seizure as international piracy and blatant theft, accusing the U.S. of trying to steal its oil resources. So, Venezuela is claiming that the oil in that tanker, in that supertanker, belongs to it, while there is suspicion that the oil may have come from Nigeria. So, but Donald Trump, U.S. President Donald Trump, has issued an executive order that consignment remains seized, that is going to seize it. So, which is, anything that is under sanctions, any shipment that is under sanctions, of course, at risk of being seized.
Well, we're not talking about, the seizure now. We're even talking about the implication of some of these things to Nigeria. Remember, the supertanker was not traced to Ghana. It wasn't traced to Benin or Togo or whatever country that has a maritime. It was traced to Nigeria, which means there is some sort of connection. Don't you think that the powers that be might have gone to delete whatever information with CAC so as to see if they can take themselves out of that mix? Because Nigeria can't escape this, Emeka. You would agree with me?
No, not necessarily. It has nothing to do with Nigeria.
But everything was traced to Nigeria. They have a physical office.
But I've told you there is a Russian. Anybody can have a physical office anywhere. I can go to Benin Republic now and open an office. Just open an office. Maybe just one cleaner comes there once in a week. Just sweep the place, put up a presence and disappear. And I'll say that's my Benin office. I can even go and register a company in Benin or Togo. I just leave it there. There are so many. If you go on CAC's website, whenever CAC publishes the list of companies that have been struck off its register, you will see companies registered in the 70s. Maybe even the owners have died a long time ago. They've even, some companies that used to be popular, very popular brands, you will see them on the list, struck out. So I don't think anybody is trying to play, and because there's even no need for it. It is known, every tanker, you can trace the origin and the ownership. So people come into Nigeria like they go to other countries to invest. Just to, because it was bought and registered. It was bought here. It was bought by a company said to be, domiciled in Nigeria. But that doesn't mean that it has anything to do with the government of Nigeria or the officials of the Nigerian government. No. There are different companies operating in Nigeria. Were we not in this country when MT Pride disappeared? The whole ship disappeared from Apapa port. So the thing is that people engage in business for different purposes.
Well, I just sincerely hope that, this is usually how it starts. We try to mellow down the issue until when it begins to unfold, then we begin to understand how the Nigeria was involved in it.
No.
Remember, we haven't still settled the issue with Donald Trump on the issue of the genocide. This might add to it.
I will not want to stretch as a journalist. I will not want to stretch matters and make imputations where they don't exist. Yes, if it had nothing, Venezuela has claimed the oil in it, and
so it was wrong then to say the oil might have come from Nigeria.
It's part of speculation. But Venezuela has claimed the oil. He said it's his own oil. Now, you know, Venezuela is under the searchlight of the U.S. government. The U.S. government has placed sanctions on Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, and members of his family. So now, trying to bring oil with a supertanker, you know, of course, you know, if they had sold that oil, that would have been a lot of money for Venezuela or for Maduro, depending on who was behind it. And you also know that Venezuela, to that area, is also, you know, that Central America is also a major drug transit route. So the connection to Nigeria may be far-fetched, really. It may be far-fetched, really, because Venezuela is a country of, it's a sovereign country. So if there's any connection to Nigeria, of course it will unfold as time goes on. But for now, the U.S. government has said it's seizing the oil. It seized the supertanker because expectedly, maybe the U.S. government would have bombed the supertanker, just like it bombed those boats that he said was carrying narco smugglers. It could have bombed it, but maybe, well, when Trump felt otherwise, that no, let's take the oil and use it. You know, even though the U.S. is one of the largest oil producers in Nigeria. I mean, look at when they declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. You know, and some people ignorantly were saying that Donald Trump is after Nigeria's oil. Nigeria cannot meet its OPEC quota of 2.2 to 2.5 million barrels per day. Nigeria is just hovering around 1.5 million barrels per day. The U.S. is pushing to increase its own production to 13 million barrels per day. So how can somebody with 13 million barrels per day be looking after your oil, that much of which is made in forward sales? You have used much of your oil, mortgage much of your oil, use it to collect loans. So what is remaining? What is remaining? By the way, you have a joint venture, you know, production sharing contract with the oil majors, right? Which is 60-40. So by the time the oil majors remove their 40 out of 1.5 million barrels per day, what is remaining? Just about 900,000 barrels per day. So when you remove all the forward sales and everything, money that you are owing Afrexim, that you are owing even indigenous oil companies, you are owing here and there, you know. By the time you, how many barrels, how many thousands of barrels do you even think is remaining? You know, people tend to, you know, they are too lazy to sit down and look through the figures, sift through data, because they are just lazy. Are we actually, when you remove all the forward sales and everything, do we even have up to 700,000 barrels per day? Or even 600,000 barrels per day coming to Nigeria as part of production sharing contract? So those are the issues you look at. So, but when people who are intellectually lazy will just say they are after our oil. Which oil? Which oil? You are not even the one. You're not even the one producing the oil. You don't even know what quantity of oil you produce every day. You can't meet OPEC quota. Now, the Tinubu administration is uncapping oil wells, you know, and looking for buyers. It has even reduced the price, application price for, you know, an oil well to $3 million so as to attract people. But you see, the oil majors are even living onshore, going offshore. They are selling their assets onshore and they are going offshore, you know. So, which oil are they after? Which oil? They say our soil minerals. Why? The U.S. would rather go to the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is the largest country in Africa, which has the largest supply of rare earth minerals in the world. In fact, the U.S. would just take a base of the Africa Command, move his Africa Command to DR Congo. DR Congo has a port, right? I think in Goma. It would just go and set up a base, a full military base. In fact, as big as the one in Germany, in Stuttgart, Germany, or the one in Japan, I think Okinawa. Set up a full military base there. Drive away whether China or Russia, drive away other, you know, exploiters, and take exploiters of natural resources and take it over. If they are really looking for soil minerals, what do they need your soil minerals in Nigeria for? What you have, others have it now. Is it uranium? Other countries have it now. You have chromium. Do you even have access to it? Even gold. Are you paying? Is the money being paid into the Federation account? Whereas the Supreme Court had ruled that all money generated by the country should be paid into the federation account and shared between the federal, state, and local governments. Are you doing that with gold? Are you doing that with chromium? Are you doing that with granite? Are you doing that with all the solid minerals you have? You are not doing that. And then what are you, which people are just lazy, mentally lazy.
All right, it's a developing story, especially as it relates to drugs. And lots of people are beginning to draw the dots here. And we just hope that this will not transition to what Nigerians never expected, especially going by the issue of drugs being mentioned in that deal. That's all we have for our newspapers today. Now, equally our main conversation. Thank you so very much for being part of it. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry. You will have yourself a splendid day. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for being here. We do appreciate you. So have yourself a splendid day. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And I'll see you at another episode. Bye-bye.